to roll your eyes at her, to say to move her to trash, or to move her opinions to trash, or whatever you want to say they were referring to, was tacky behavior. It was rude, it was tactless, and it was bad form on behalf of the mental health advocacy community. Because if you were to roll your eyes at Jenna Marbles, if you were to say move to trash, Jenna Marbles, Shane Dawson, any other beloved creator, there would be an uproar. So my opinion of the way Anthony and Mikey handled that situation really had nothing to do with Trisha. Now, Trisha deserves even more than that. She deserves more than that. She deserves a lot more criticism than an eye roll from Mikey, but she deserves to be handled in a way that is appropriate, that reflects positively on the mental health community. And I personally don't think that Anthony and Mikey are doing a good job of representing that community. Or
watching that girl's video that I showed a clip of, and the girl really doesn't like me and thinks I deserve to be canceled. So it's not like she's like standing me, but you know, you start getting in your head, and I'm like, wow, people really think I'm like this evil person. I'm trying to hurt people, and I'm never trying to. I really am just trying to belong and fit in and find my way and find out who I am in this world. I have not had my own identity for as long as I can remember, and it's scary, and not to get all deep and dark all of a sudden, but it's like I'm just trying to figure out my best.
Hi everybody, we're taking a break from our break to address what's going on with Team Piñata.
Hey there. I feel like I need another rant. So for those of you who don't like seeing this side of me, I guess watch out for the choker. And for those of you who like seeing this side of me, look out for the choker. It wasn't by design that I decided to wear the same choker, but maybe it'll be my thing. So I've got a few things to say, and I really hope that you hear me out through the end, because it'll be really easy to take what I'm saying out of context if you don't look at the entire picture that I'm painting. So I am going to try to keep this to one of my shorter videos, for whatever short means to me. There are some of you out there who keep coming back to my videos and will hate me no matter what. You either think that I'm being too nice to Trisha or too mean to Trisha, and or by association I am being mean to other creators that are against Trisha, or an infinite number of ways that you can twist this situation. There are some people that are going to put me as one of the bad guys in this whole mess. And so I don't think any of those people I will be able to please. Now I will say to those of you, whether you love Trisha and you think I'm being too mean, or you hate Trisha and you think that I'm being too nice, I will say Trisha has seen my videos and Trisha respects what I'm saying. Take that for what you will, but I would ask what you've done to better the situation. But that is not the majority of my audience, and I don't need to be catering my message to that hateful minority. A lot of you are people who either see things through a similar lens that I do, or you disagree but are here for the conversation, to hear out what I have to say and to offer what you have to say. And that is what I love the most about my channel. So there is one thing from my last video, or last few videos, that I want to clear up, because essentially I keep hopping on for these rants when I keep having the same conversations over and over again in the comments. I said this in my last video like this: if I'm having the same conversation over and over again, I need to hop on camera and have that conversation one last time and be done with it. I think I've said what I can say about Anthony Padilla's relationship with YouTube and his right to speak up for fair treatment and all that. Bottom line, I agree with you there. I don't agree that he's done it well. That's it. Like, let that be done. The other thing I'm hearing a lot too is with regards to the Instagram story that Mikey posted of her and her boyfriend Anthony Padilla. I said several times that Mikey rolled her eyes at the video of Trisha. And so many comments are, I don't think Mikey was rolling her eyes. Mikey was looking up at the TV or the screen, or you misunderstood. She wasn't rolling her eyes. I'm hearing that a lot. And with all due respect, let's be real. Yeah, I know that she kind of pulled one of these numbers and then looked up and then put her hand over her face and shook her head. We all know that there was a certain reaction that they were trying to put across in that video, particularly Mikey, because she recorded that video and posted it. So just as much as anybody can watch Trisha Paytas's DID videos and say, oh God, I'm rolling my eyes because she's faking it, I can watch a video of Mikey and be like, oh God, she's trying to get a point across. And as harmful as I think Trisha Paytas' behavior on this platform is, I am more convinced that Mikey was trying to get a message across, a rude message across, than I am convinced that Trisha was necessarily trying to disrespect any community with her first video. Do I think that she's been intentionally disrespecting people since then? Yeah. Absolutely. But she posted her original video. Mikey wanted to get across to us that Mikey was trying to make a point. That's all I'll say. She was trying to make a point, and I don't like how she did it. So you might think it was totally fair. Fine. Good on you. I didn't. Where do we go from there? At that point, we might just agree to disagree because we're starting to beat a dead horse at this point. My concern here is how many times I'm hearing over and over again that this recent attempt by DissociaDID, and when I say attempt, I am taking a big leap and assuming that most of you know what I'm talking about when I say attempt. Recently went through a situation that would have ended very, very, very badly, and thus has been taking a break from social media. And at the beginning of all this, there was a lot of talk about what this whole situation has done to DissociaDID and the mental health of that system. And I've got to be honest with you guys, and I hope you respect a certain level of human skepticism and discernment and critical thinking. But part of me has wondered, truly, like, do we really take Trisha Paytas' opinion to heart that much, that she can have that much of an effect on our mental health? Especially when you're at the heart of this and everybody's rallying around you and shaming the person pitted against you. I don't know. I can't say. I'm not Nin. I'm not part of the DissociaDID system. I'm not friends with her. I don't know how this whole situation with Trisha Paytas has affected her exactly. I can see how a massive burst of exposure and being in the spotlight and in the center of controversy can be very stressful, can be very overwhelming. I get that. The problem, and this is a very big problem, I've known about this for a little while now and have not wanted to speak about it because I was thinking I want to be considerate to Nin, to DissociaDID, to their personal life, to include their fiance, Team Piñata, and everything that's going on around them. And then I realized, do you know what's more important than protecting anyone's feelings, shaming Trisha Paytas, protecting even DissociaDID's feelings, protecting my feelings, protecting Anthony Padilla's feelings, protecting Mikey's feelings, protecting anyone's feelings? What's more important than that is protecting the safety of children. And I don't know how many of you watching realize that the safety of children is truly very, very close to the heart of this attempt by DissociaDID, or Nin. I'm not sure which one of the alters it was that was truly at the center of this attempt. I think it might have been Nin. And of course, we don't know how much of this or how much of that affected her decision to attempt that. But I'm just going to lay this out there for those of you who don't know. DissociaDID has been in a relationship with Team Piñata, another system with dissociative identity disorder. And specifically, Nin has been in a relationship with Nan, the two hosts of the system. In fact, they were engaged. I'm not sure where that stands now. In this whole transcontinental long distance relationship, I think for the past couple of years. And if you're like me, once all this started, you started to binge a lot of DissociaDID's videos and came to love that whole system, and then by association came to love Team Piñata. Now, this is the part that I have a hard time coming out with, and that is that Nan from Team Piñata has been outed for some very questionable behavior. As far as I know now, all of their social media has been taken down or privated, but until recently, they had been circulating illustrations that focused on a certain fetish that they had. And those illustrations oftentimes involved children. Now, I don't want to get all into the details. This is not necessarily a story I want to report on. I will say that the illustrations that they were creating were not graphic in the way that we would initially think. But the reason people are upset, the reason this is egregious, is because these illustrations link children or their own alters at a young age to a sexual fetish. And according to Nin, she and her system were not aware that this was happening until very recently. And I am the type of person that is inclined to believe people at their word. Until they have given me ample reason to not believe what they're saying at face value, I believe them. So I believe Nin when she says that she didn't know about this and that she's been very upset by this. But we need to bear in mind that this is a very, very, very serious issue. More serious than whatever's going on with Trisha Paytas on the internet.
But Nan said, these were supposed to be innocent, they weren't supposed to be fetishized, they were playful and cute and blah, 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 blah. But more and more evidence started to come out. And in the midst of all this, Nin from Team DissociaDID, No, just DissociaDID, were keeping silent. Apparently they were taking a break or something for their mental health after the whole Trisha Paytas thing. While I was researching this Team Piñata stuff, I found a lot of really dodgy sounding stuff about DissociaDID. So I was kind of at this point questioning whether DissociaDID had good intentions or not.
When the images first started coming out, we wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt, and we did. But now that there's more information and more things that have been leaked that we absolutely can't endorse, it's not okay. We didn't know about any of this stuff. So obviously it's a shock, and we can't endorse or support it. It's not okay. And obviously we are very shocked and hurt and betrayed, and I don't know what's going to happen going forward, so please respect our privacy, and we're so sorry that we didn't know.
A lot of evidence came forward and Nin couldn't deny the allegations. They were true, and she seems genuinely remorseful and guilty and upset about what's going on.
It is disgusting. It is more urgent of a matter to be addressed and to be taken off the internet. And it is more immediately dangerous to the general public. And so I just don't think it's fair, given that much information, knowing that that is going on. It is not fair for us to pin somebody's attempt on Trisha Paytas for this whole stupid mess that's going on. Which I'm not downplaying anyone's feelings around it. I'm just saying, by comparison, I don't think this holds a candle to what's been going on with Nan and Team Piñata. So I want to clear that up to anybody who didn't know before you go and say that this attempt was on Trisha's hands. Back up a minute and gather some more facts before you say things like that. And this is the part that I really want you to hear me out to. I think it's especially important that we make sure that we are not doing this if we're trying to make a case against Trisha Paytas existing on the internet, or against Trisha Paytas continuing to hurt various people and communities on YouTube. We have heard other commentators say things like, we have to make sure that we are providing factual arguments against something that are relevant and not low blows. because then otherwise would cheapen our argument. So what is that to say? As an example, Angelica Oles has spoken out a lot against people attacking Jaclyn Hill for her looks and her weight recently, when the audience has been given several reasons to be upset and frustrated with Jaclyn Hill. When people were attacking Donald Trump's son, Barron, a child, Philip DeFranco spoke out against that, when the American people had and have plenty of reason to be upset with Donald Trump. I've said several times, we need to conduct ourselves in a certain manner, not for the sake of the people that we are speaking out against. It's for the sake of our own communities. We have to hang on to our credibility. And so, when I am telling you, stop pinning this attempt on Trisha, this situation may have contributed to her mental state before it happened. Surely it did to some extent, but we know that something much bigger happened at the same time. I am doing a now several part series on the histories and scandals of Trisha Paytas so that we can look at the facts surrounding her behavior on YouTube and in the public eye and how she has hurt and upset people. There is plenty to go by. There's plenty. So with that in mind, we need to make sure that we are being on point with our criticisms and that we aren't twisting anything to make it seem like it could be Trisha's fault, if there's even a glimmer of possibility there, because we don't need to do that. There's plenty there. There's enough there. For you Trish haters, there's enough there that you don't need to twist this situation to be Trisha's fault. There's plenty else you can pin on her, and rightfully so. But it's when you take situations like this and want to chalk it up to a fake DID video or whatever it is that we let certain things like people who are dangers to children get brushed under the rug. And I think this really started to matter to me when I posted my part 2 of that series last night, because I referenced a situation with somebody I knew in my life who was a danger to children. And hate me if you want, but I have less tolerance for people like that than people like Trisha Paytas at this point. So I just want to make it very clear. I think the internet needs to know that that is going on, that has gone on. I don't think we need to create another huge drama around it. I think that, of course, most people agree that DissociaDID needs time to rest, needs time to heal and recover from this. And so I'm holding them in my heart. I hope you're doing the same, sending them nothing but love and hope during this very scary time. All of this just seems like unfortunate timing for that system, and that's really unfortunate. We just need to make sure that we are not misattributing fault in these very, very serious matters, especially when we're talking about somebody potentially taking their presence away from us. Just like we said, it's not fair if Trisha were to blame that on Anthony Padilla. It is not right for anyone to blame it on anyone, really, but especially when there are circumstances that we are ignoring, and especially when we're talking about the safety of children. So keep watching my videos if you care to know more about my opinion of Trisha Paytas, because that does seem to be the most complicated conversation on my channel, is people really understanding where I stand. I made very clear, and Trisha is aware of this, that I don't agree with her presence on the platform. I don't agree with what she's been doing. However, I am doing my best to stay fair and level-headed, because I think there's plenty argument there against what she's been doing and against her presence on this platform that I don't need to attribute something to her that isn't her fault. So I'm getting to that point where I'm talking in circles again. So I'm going to let that be. I've put it out there. Probably didn't put it out there as well as I wanted to, or as succinctly as I wanted to, but I got it out nonetheless. So to you, the one person who's watching who's not me, I do appreciate you letting me come here and do this and hearing me out. And I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say down in the comments. Bye.